Ladies, welcome back to my channel. I'm CoachSherriHorner, and this channel is for women over the age of 50, embracing and navigating the second phase of life. And today I have a weight loss journey success story with my guest, Rhonda Hammond, and she's from South Jersey as well. And welcome to the channel.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, because like a lot of women, you've navigated different ups and downs through your journey. But I also want to talk about your age. Now you're 50,
Yeah.
and we know, so that adds a little more struggle to the situation as we get over 50. But you have been able to navigate things. So I want you to share your story, and I want to talk about your health, how that is a priority to you and how that helped with your journey. So you want to take us back to the beginning and how you navigated the ups and downs, or start where you're ready to start with it.
I know. When you asked me that question, I'm like, oh, okay. So thank you first for having me on your show, Sherry, just to talk about such a journey, and it's continuous and it's just ongoing. If I can think back when you say when did it started in my younger years because I've always struggled with weight. And it's interesting. I just had a conversation with someone yesterday. I was like, I remember in third grade when they asked me how much I weighed. And at that time, it was 100 pounds. And I realized in that age, when you have your friends and everything, you can see that you're heavier than other kids. So I've always struggled with weight, but never really was not concerned. It bothered me, but I started to really look at it differently in 2013 when I started to have struggles with just always thinking about our family history and health. And we have issues with high blood pressure in our family, diabetes, and it's a thing that I say that I'm running from, literally. And and so in 13, I had did our conference, I Simply Love Her. And once I walked off the stage in 2012, I was my heaviest at that time, 329 pounds. And I said, I never wanted to go back on that stage weighing that amount of weight, because the message, I Simply Love Her, and the weight for me did match, right? So I found this lady on Facebook, and she introduced me to a plan at that time. And I went through it. In a year, I took off 99 pounds. That was an anonymous program. It was called Food Addicts. And I went through that program, had a sponsor, everything, and I did really well. I coupled that with a small group through our local church at the time, and had that community and accountability. And we walked and we did so many different Goliathons and inflatable runs and you name it. And the weight easily came off. And at that time, I was 40 years old. I think back at 40 years old, my first, like turning 40, I was in one of those recovery rooms. And that was new to me because I didn't look at obesity as a addiction. I just, because we have to eat. And we can't get away from food. But fast forward, I took that weight off and I pretty much held it, kept it steady until around 2017. I kept it off. A little bit was coming back. And then in 17, we hit what I called life. Life knocks on my door. And I went through grief, and we had lost some important people in our life, and we had lost a good amount of people, and just different things in your job, health issues in my spouse. I mean, just stuff happened, and I really took a low point, and then I started to see the weight coming back on. But it was such a time in a place of employment where, like, I battled with God and like, how did I get here? Um, that weight started to come back on, but I avoided the scale, right? Even when you go to the doctors, I just would get on backwards and say, hey, you put my numbers down. And so I avoided the scale, and I had got myself up higher than my highest. And I started to notice it because at that time I had a granddaughter. She had some difficulties too when she first was born. She had a brachial plexus injury, and that thing just took me, because when she was born, her one arm did not move at all. So at 6 months, she had to get major surgery, 6 surgeons, 5-hour surgery, and she's only 6 months old. So that was just a lot of life
Mm-hmm.
happening and things that you would never. And so that's why, during this journey, I always say with weight loss, you just never know. You have to not just look at it from a physical aspect in your diet, but like the emotional and all of that stuff that comes
Exactly.
with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that yeah, that happened, and my pressure started to go up, and that thing that I was running from that I talked about in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to be put on medication, and that really made me look at things different because I said I know that there's another way, that I didn't want to go on medication. I'm like I managed to hit at that time 47 years without any medication. But I went ahead and took the medication, and at that time I started to do plant-based and start really researching plant-based, and took off 62 pounds doing that. And I still noticed at that time, now I had had a major surgery. Life at 50 brings you hysterectomies and stuff like that. And so that was kind of my excuse. It was like, okay, I had a hysterectomy. I'm 50. I'm starting to enter a whole bunch of hormonal changes. And maybe this weight is not going to come off. And my lot in life, I said, maybe this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm just going to land at this heavy, weight.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like, no, this is not it. And it took a lot to put my head back up, because here's the thing: when I lost the weight, the back in 13, everyone saw me lose the weight. You saw me lose the weight. The community saw me lose the weight. And I lost an incredible amount of weight on my own, 141 pounds. So to get up and do it again, and then just the humility of it all. I remember coming back outside and at an event, and all of those people that watched me lose it, I had to walk out and I had put it all back on. And
Mm-hmm.
it was just a hard thing for me, shameful.
I am so glad that you mentioned that, Rhonda, because so many people we're all self-conscious.
Right.
And when anyone starts a journey, and my years of being a fitness trainer and wellness coach, I've heard this so many times. When women start the journey and they're motivated and now they're taking action steps, but all eyes are on you. All eyes are on you. And so many people have told me that they've had people say to them, "Oh, are you still on your diet?" And then it makes you think, well, is it not showing? Or, oh, are you still doing that? And as critical as people can be about people that are overweight, those same or people that are overweight are so critical of people who are not. I remember maintaining my fitness and weight and having people, once a month that they saw me eat a piece of cake at an event. Oh, look at Miss Healthy eating a piece of cake. So people can be cruel, and you are self-conscious. And well, we're more critical of ourselves than others, but it is hard when you go out to in public, and you've put weight back on, or if you're on a journey and it's not showing right away, then people will make those comments, and it's sad. So this channel is the reason I started this, is so we can support one another, encourage one another. So that's why you sharing your story in this video is so important, because there are people that can relate to that. But you always are so positive and such an inspiration. Like, I love to hear you talk about anything. You could be talking about the grass growing on your lawn, and I am just all ears. uh,
Oh, thank
and
you.
so you did, you held your head high. And so go ahead and finish the rest of your journey. So when you had to go back out in public.
Yeah. So we were going through another difficulty too. We were just, I mean, life just had a lot of different ebbs and flows at the time. And I had to focus on, we moved, we went through just a lot of, challenging times. And I just said, hey, well, now I look at it hindsight, like these are obstacles, and I know that I'm built with a great amount of resilience. And it's funny, people say you're so strong, and I'm like, I'm strong by default. It's like just things have happened in my life where, what are you going to do? You have no other choice but to, either lay down or get back up. And I
Thrive,
usually have,
thrive or die, right? Thrive or die. Yeah.
yes. Um, so I just said, okay, it's time. And it was more important for me. I've always wanted to be the grandmother that took their grandchild to the pool and to the park and all these different things. So when my granddaughter started to potty train, I noticed, here's another thing on top of the blood pressure. We have, the small bathroom downstairs, your half bathroom, and it started to get difficult. And this is being way transparent, but once you put weight on, it was like I'm in the bathroom, with her, and she's, and we're just tight. And I was like, this is getting out of control. And I never wanted to be a burden on my husband, right? I never want to be, hey, like this is happening. And then you're telling your spouse about all these problems. And it's like, you have the ability to do what you need to do. And I know what to do because I've done it before. So I just said, you know what, this is it. I'm going to, pick my head back up. And after we went through this transition of moving and getting settled, I was like, it's time to do it again. And so in April, I had decided to find a new plan. I found someone that was on a plan and was 52. And I said, okay, so there's no excuses. The weight's coming off and I know who she is. And I was like, okay, so I reached out to her and, found a plan. At the same time, another thing happened. I wound up in the hospital with emergency surgery for my gallbladder. So I was supposed to start the plan on April 10th. April 8th was I was in the hospital and then I had to have emergency surgery. The interesting thing about it was I just turned 50 March 4th. So I went to Disney and I had exactly 1 month to come off of that. And then the gallbladder went. So that came out. But I felt like I started fresh, everything is out. And, I had to, if you look at it, like it was the universe's way of saying, get the junk out. We know it's time for you to get it done and let's start all over again. So that happened and I started a new weight loss plan on 4/17. And so far I'm down 35 pounds and I feel amazing. One of the things that I've had to do is start going back to my programs again when you talk about food and your problems with food, because let's just be honest, everyone I talk to, they say either, hey, I nibble because I'm stressed, or I don't eat enough because I'm stressed. And it doesn't even have to be stress. It could be happiness or whatever. We just eat because we eat. And I knew that was the foundational tool that helped me when I lost the weight the first time. And I kind of kicked myself because I was like, why did you walk away from it? And I say it in the meetings. I say, hey, you just thought you were strong enough and you had this thing beat. So I drove myself back in the rooms.
Yeah.
And so I've been working out, eating, and taking care of mind, body, and spirit all at the same time.
Yeah, I love that. That's such a good message. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, because it's all about the journey. And when I train people to run, I teach them that it's about the journey. It's not about the end goal or crossing that finish line. It's about your journey through training for that run. And everything in life is a run and a journey to get there. And so thank you so much for sharing. You're such a positive influence. I appreciate you so much. And when you said starting fresh, that's something I always remind everyone, that to start something new, start where you are with what you have, or try something new and start where you are with what you have. But you can always do a restart, a reset, and like you said, a refresh. So don't look at anything as being a failure. So if ladies, if you are on a journey of weight loss right now and you think, well, I've already messed up, don't, just start again. And I've had people tell me that as well through their fitness routines or their weight loss journey. Well, I was doing good for 2 weeks and then I got sick, or then I had to go out of town, or I had company come into town and then I got off track. And start fresh, start again. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Ladies, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. And if you have an inspirational story, please contact me. We would love to hear your story as well. And like and share this video. I appreciate it so much. If you subscribe, I super, super, super appreciate it and help grow this community. And I will catch you on the next video. Okay, thank you so much.